Aloha and welcome to the Destination Changemakers group. My name is David Tucker and I am so happy that you're here. Happy Aloha Friday. In this group, this is where we talk about the 3 M's: mindset, marketing, and of course, momentum. And we go live here every single Friday at 11 o'clock Mountain. And it's either myself or Wendy, or sometimes, I'm lucky enough to get her to support me and we do this thing together because, as you know, she is the star of the show. So in this group, this is where we talk about how to shift into a higher gear, right? And what do I mean by that? I mean how to become the leader that you already know you are on the inside, right? On the outside, so that the world can see it. And that will help you shine like a star. And if you have any comments, just drop them in the comment bubble here and we will try and answer them for you. Today, I'm trying something a little bit different. We're pushing this video feed outside of our closed group. We're pushing it into YouTube and a couple of other channels. So just looking to see, how things are going to work. And that is the way life is. That's the way business is. And so today we're going to talk about, are you stuck in your destination changemaker journey? All right, I know that seems like a little bit of a trick question, right? Because you may not even know that you're on the destination changemaker journey. You haven't thought of it in those terms. And, I don't blame you, right? Because this is sort of some new territory for us. So we're going to take a little quiz today. And that quiz is just that checkup from the neck up, right? That checkup to see, hey, am I in the right group? Am I in the right place? Am I on the right track? And so here we go. I'm going to ask 3 questions. And the first is, are you completely satisfied with where you're at? With your 9 to 5, you like to go into work, you like to get the day done, go home, and that's about it. If you are, that is the status quo, and you're probably not on a destination changemaker journey, but I tell you what, you could be. And I'll also tell you one more thing. You're probably not listening to me right now, right? Because you're just doing your thing and you haven't thought about making that shift, about making that change in your career, in your life, in your business, in your property, in your destination. And that's cool. Keep listening if you are here, right? So the people I work with that are destination change makers or moving into that destination change maker space, they tend to fall into 2 buckets, right? And the first bucket is that frustration bucket, right? And what are we frustrated about when it comes to destination marketing? There are a lot of things that I can think of, but off the top of my head, it's that knowledge, that insecurity, that not being sure about all of the tools and tricks and tips and marketing channels and everything that goes into the complexity of marketing a destination these days. And that can be a lot of frustration, right? You end up on a call with your digital marketing agency. They seem to talk circles around you. You're looking at algorithm changes and warnings on groups like LinkedIn and Facebook and the forums that you follow. And it's frustrating because there's so much change going on all the time. And it's that frustration that you can leverage to really decide to take the next step, to take that journey into having more confidence, right? Because confidence, it generates confidence in your job, and that's how you're going to shift. The other bucket that people tend to fall into is the excellence bucket, right? Excellence in their job, excellence in their career, excellence in their marketing skills and knowledge. And they want to be the best. They want to be the best at what they do. And, I commend you for that. I've always sort of been in that space, but I've also been in the frustration space because I'll tell you a little secret, and maybe you already know this. Frustration and excellent, they're drivers toward the same thing, right? You can't have one without the other. Frustration is one of those things that's always going to come up. And hopefully, instead of just getting angry, you get motivated, right? You start to change your mindset toward that momentum that will get you the question, that will get you the understanding. And then excellence, if you're striving for excellence in anything, whether it's relationships, health, athletics, anywhere where you're on the field and you're trying to be the best, you're going to run into frustration, right? That's why those 2 things are married, because there cannot be excellence without some friction, without some pushback, and that creates frustration. So, hey, those 2 things are the same, and I hope that maybe gives you an aha moment, because those drivers are super important. And I'll tell you, the high performers that I mentor, that I work with, that have mentored me, they have this saying, and it's called divine discontent, right? And divine discontent is that thing that's always inside of you that wants you to do more and be more and have more and give more, share more, and be the leader of the destination. So at its core, we are talking about leadership. And so divine discontent, is one of those things that has always been one of my drivers. And when I look at the stack of everything we need to know in the Destination Changemaker community, especially from a marketing perspective, there's a lot of complexity, and complexity is the death of execution, right? It's so hard to make the needle move forward and have one of those, things that knocks it out of the park if you don't get to the execution part. And that's why we created Travelers Book Direct, right? It is unwinding all of that complexity so that you can execute on the things that you need to do. And we've broken it into small chunks, because little shifts, they make big change, right? And that's true in anywhere in your life. And you just think about it that way. If you've ever been on a weight loss journey, I had to do that at one point in my life. I lost almost 60 pounds from where I'm at today, right? And it didn't happen overnight. It was those little shifts over 2 years that allowed me to make the big change and grow into who I am today. And so that's why we created Travelers Book Direct, because it's just an ongoing series of little shifts. And we've broken it into some channels, into some funnels that we find are super valuable. And the first is education, right? So at its core, Travelers Book Direct is an education platform where we provide our members with the education, the video education, and the live training that they need to understand all of the different complexity in the tools, right? And it gives you that competence, and it gives you those skills. So those two things together, you will have absolute confidence when you walk away in how to execute on those certain channels, right? And I'm not going to talk about them all. I'm not going to talk about SEO and pay-per-click and local search and meta search and video marketing. Oh my God, there's just so many things that you can talk about. But education is our core, and we back that up with tools, right? Tools that you can use to help move the needle, help move you forward. And these are proven tools. These are things that I've used over the last 20 years, right? I've built them, and now we're sharing them inside the Travelers Book Direct community. So these are the tools that you can actually use. You have access to them. And, we start the education and the tools journey with finding out where you're at, finding out what you need to do, and then measuring your success by taking those little steps every day. Now, inside Travelers Book Direct, we have this culture, right? It's this culture of growth. It's this culture of leadership. And the way we grow culture is through community. So you are connected absolutely inside of Travelers Book Direct to like-minded leaders like yourself that are feeling the frustration, right? They're feeling the excellence urge to be better in what they do. They want to be at the top of their game. And so you have to associate yourself with people that are like-minded, right? You have to work with people that are in the same journey, and that will exponentially gain momentum, right? One of those things we talk about here is momentum. We also talk about strategy and tactics inside of Travelers Book Direct, and that's just a given, right? The strategy is what you need to do, and the tactics are how to do it, right? And we chunk that out into little bits. Now, you could go through the course, the material in an entire month, if you really put your head down and spend multi-hours a day, but that's not what we recommend. We recommend that you take a tactic, you put it on your calendar, and you do one thing every week, because it's those little shifts that are going to make that huge change, that big wave moving forward. And you'll look in your rearview mirror, and at the end of a year, you will not believe who you've become and what you can do. So I thank you so much for joining us here every Friday. And, we're practicing our craft, we're sharpening our sword. And one of the things that we've done this week for Travelers Book Direct for all of our members is we've added am I allowed to say this yet? We've added an incredible video marketing platform to it. This is one of those tools that's a done for you thing. So I'm not going to sell you on this right now, but what I do want to share with you is that if you're in the Travelers Book Direct program right now, there's not going to be an additional charge for this, right? And this tool allows you to create video testimonials that are one and done, right? They're edited for you. It's a whole platform. Let me just say, it's a whole platform where you can get your guests to review your property, your destination, and the video comes out the other side complete, where you can use it in your social media, on your website, and knock it out of the park. There's also story tools, there's email tools, there's just so much. So look for that if you're in Travelers Book Direct coming toward you. And if you are joining as a founding member, we've got a few spots left. You're also going to get that tool at a founding member price. So go to Travelers Book Direct. I'll have Wendy drop a link at the bottom there. But the last thing I want to leave you with is I just value our relationship so much, right? Because relationships are everything. And that's the backbone of Travelers Book Direct. And that's the backbone of making more direct bookings. It's the relationship factor. And together we can all overcome the complexity of what's going on in the marketplace right now. We can take control back from the channels that are out there where we've lost control of our distribution and our demand. And we can start to create the guest's journey, because the guests are most important, to our destination, to our property, in a better, larger, and more meaningful way. And I think that's the important thing, the important takeaway that I want to share with you today. So thank you so much. I honor you, and I hope you have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you next week, and everybody else inside the Travelers Book Direct community. Aloha